Hey, it's Chris from Printing Fundamentals, and in this episode, we're going to talk about leveling the bed, aka the proper term is tramming. So when you're leveling the bed, what you're going to want to do is heat the bed up to your printing temperature that you're going to print at. That'll allow it to heat soak and expand to where it's going to be when you're printing. You want that same expansion so that all the dimensions will be right when you go to print. So I've already preheated the bed. So now what I'm going to do is go through my menus and go to the leveling, and you're going to do the leveling in order. They have 4 quadrants, and then the 5th one in the middle. The middle one, the 5th one, just stay away from it. It's never going to do you any help because people go through the first 4, and then they go to the 5th one, and then it's a little higher or a little lower than the rest of them. And it's like, well, there's no way to fix that. I mean, you can try and take the whole bed off and try and screw them all down the same way, going back and forth to try and get it the same. But on my printers, they both dip low a little, but it doesn't affect the print at all. I print stuff on there and it prints just the same. I don't have any problems. It doesn't lift out the bed. I don't have any adhesion issues in the center. So it's not a large enough discrepancy to cause any problems. Now, if it is causing problems, then you want to look at doing extra stuff to get that to near where the other ones are. But for all intents and purposes, the 4 quadrants, 1, 2, 3, 4, are the ones that you're going to try to get all together feeling the same. And so I'm going to go with my first quadrant. As you can see, it's going to home first. It homes itself so it knows where exactly it's at. Then it goes to the first spot, and I check it with my... And so this is showing that I'm not able to get under there. So that means that my bed's too close to the nozzle. And you can also visually check underneath and look for a gap between the bed and the nozzle. And over time, you'll learn to recognize the size of gap you need. And you can do that first so that you can visually move it to where it needs to be. Because if you're doing this and you're doing a small adjustment, this and adjustment, this and adjustment, well, it's like if it's 10 adjustments out of where it needs to be and you're sitting there adjusting, or you could just look at it, adjust it down to the gap that you can see, and then you adjust to that gap, then you're like, okay, now it's just too tall, so I'm going to adjust a little bit, and you can hear it up in the nozzle. Just go slow over it and you'll feel how hard it's gripping. And what you want to do is have it, the grip on each one feel the same, and you'll feel how hard it's gripping. And so then you go to the next one. Since my first one up, it's a little closer, so it's about right on. So then the third one, yeah, that's too tight, so I'll adjust it slightly visually. Okay, so it's a little too easy to go through, so now I'll adjust it back tighter. fourth one. It feels a little tighter than the other ones, so just adjust slightly. And you'll be able to tell when you're getting close to your optimal, because the closer you get, the larger change in the feel of it compared to your adjustment means you're closer to where you're trying to get to. Still a little. And remember, it's always righty tighty, lefty loosey. So turning the knob clockwise will tighten, will bring the bed up closer to the nozzle, and then doing counterclockwise, lefty loosey, will lower the bed. So that one feels good. And then once you got them all feeling the same, and you'll do them in order over and over until you feel that they're all the same. And then once you got that, then you're done for that for now. So now that was the manual leveling process. If you have that, that's what you're going to do for your manual leveling. And then if you have Z offset, what you're going to do is when you start doing a test print, you can do a bed test to verify that you got your first layer right. You can do that while you're printing that test. You can monitor it, and if it looks too close or you're seeing issues where it's not smooth or you're seeing spaces between lines stuff, you can adjust your Z offset to accordingly to make it the optimal first layer. And then once you're done once you got your Z offset set, then if you have ABL, automatic bed leveling, you can look up your system on what are the proper instructions for using the auto bed leveling. A lot of it is taking the mapping points and then saving that to your SD card, or I'm not sure totally how the process goes, but that's what I've seen online in printing groups. So you're going to want to double check and research your own version of the ABL and verify what steps you need to do to properly do that. The ABL will extend your leveling out for many more prints than what normally has through manual leveling, because on mine I can get about 25 to 35 prints before I have to re-level again. And with the ABL, it'll automatically map every time before each print, and then it'll slightly adjust everything as the bed kind of gets out of whack slightly. Just because it's a natural thing for the beds to become unlevel over time, just because it's all the vibration and stuff, it's gonna cause the screws to come partially undone little by little each time. And so once you have the automatic leveling set, then it'll adjust it each time as you go, and that'll extend how many prints you can get through before you actually have to go back and manually level again. So it's helpful, but I don't really care for it myself because I'm used to manual leveling. It doesn't take very long, and I just find it's more stuff to possibly go wrong. But so those are the three parts of leveling, which is the manual leveling, the Z offset, and the ABL. So in this next scene, I'm going to show you what it looks like when you're printing the test bed, and I've got the test print, bed level test print on the website, printingfundamentals.com. Under the files section, there's that. It's in there, and you can download that and use it, or you can create one through Cura. Either way, and I'll show you Cura in an episode later on how to do that. But that is the majority of the leveling. Some systems may not have all those options, and there may be even like Core XY where they're just the bed's mounted and you're letting the system do it itself and stuff. So it's just depends on your system. This is how it goes about doing it. So after leveling the bed, I have printed a verification to verify the first layers. And you can kind of see, and let me see if I can get a better light on it. Kind of hard to see, but when you get done printing for your check, you're going to look at the layers and see how close they look to the picture that we will have available online, and then you can adjust things from there. But for the most part, I've got a good first layer that even throughout the whole thing, so there's no major blemishes or anything, so that tells me that I have the bed pretty well leveled. If you find these videos helpful, please like and subscribe to my YouTube or go to printingfundamentals.com.